Hello everyone, welcome back to Easy Online English. I'm Sahara and today we are at my desk. I do have a recording studio in my house for YouTube videos, but today I decided to be more comfortable and have you at my desk for a lesson today. And today we are studying all about eggs. I know that sounds weird, but we are going to give you another language hacking video. And in this strategy for learning vocabulary, we will take one thing and expand all of the vocabulary and idioms that relate to this one thing. And today we are learning about eggs. So let's go. If you want to know the translation in your language, be sure to check the translated subtitles here. So first, let's talk about the very basic parts of the egg. You may know these, but we're going to review them. First is the yolk. Yolk. And this is the yellow part. The next part is the egg whites. Egg whites. And of course, this is the white part. In the outer part, the hard part, is what we call the shell, or the eggshell. And if the egg turns into a chicken, we would call it an embryo. Embryo. Okay, so these are the very basic words related to eggs. So let's talk about how we describe eggs in English. So imagine yourself, you're in the grocery store and you're standing at the refrigerator looking at the eggs. Here are the different types of words that you would see. The first one is egg carton. Egg carton. Right? And this is just the crate that the eggs come in. Next, you will see white and brown eggs. White and brown eggs. Easy. Next, especially in America, we have different sizes of eggs. And the biggest one is jumbo. Jumbo means just the biggest egg you can buy. Next, you will see grade AA. Grade AA. This has to do with the quality of the egg, how great it is. Next, you will definitely see organic eggs. Organic. Then you might see different versions of organic. One of these ways is cage-free. Cage-free. And this means that the chickens don't have cages. Maybe they all live together in a place. And then pasture-raised. Pasture-raised. And this just means that they have access to a pasture or to a grassy area for them to live and eat. The last thing you'll probably see in the grocery store is omega-3. Omega-3. And this relates to a special diet that they give the chickens. So the eggs have more omega-3 fatty acids for you if you need those in your diet. Okay, so we talked about where you get the eggs, but what are some words and phrases related to where eggs come from, right? So, of course, these are farm phrases that we're going to go over next. And of course, the first thing that I want to talk about are roosters and hens. Rooster is the name of a male chicken, and then hen is the name of a female chicken. But if you want, you can refer to both of these as a scientific way. You can say poultry. Poultry. This is like the scientific word for chickens or birds that we eat. The next farm phrase I want to teach you is where the chickens live. Right? This is called a chicken coop. Chicken coop. Right? And this is where the hens live, and this is where they lay their eggs. lay their eggs. So when we say that the egg is coming out of the chicken, we're saying that she is laying her eggs because she has to sit down to do it. And after she lays her eggs, she has to sit on her eggs to warm them up, right? She has to sit on her eggs to warm them up. And if she gets to keep her eggs and the farmer doesn't take them away from her, then the eggs will hatch. Hatch. Right? So when a baby chicken, when an embryo, if you remember that word, when the embryo is ready, it will hatch and become a chicken. All right, so let's expand even further, right? And we're going to talk about the different words and phrases that you use when you are cooking an egg. So let's start with a simple place by talking about boiling, right? So if you want to make a hard boiled egg, you need to boil the egg in water, right? And when we talk about eggs, we actually use the words hard, medium, and soft to talk about the period of time that we are cooking it. So the longer that you cook the egg, the harder the texture will be. So if you want your eggs hard, you can say, I want a hard boiled egg. Or you could say, I want a soft boiled egg. Mm-hmm. And after you're done, you peel the egg, right? You peel the egg open and eat it. Next, let's talk about if you want to open the egg, right? So say you have an egg, you tap it on the kitchen counter. What do you think this is called? This is called cracking open an egg. Cracking open an egg. You can also say breaking open if you want. That's okay. But mostly we say crack open the egg. So you cracked open the egg, and next you put them in a bowl, and you do this. This is called beating the egg. You can also say whisk. It's the same thing. So whisking an egg or beating an egg. And next you take the egg and you pour it into the pan so you can fry it. So now we're making fried eggs, or more commonly in America, they are called scrambled eggs. Scrambled eggs. And again, you can use hard, medium, and soft for the style of eggs that you want. So if you want hard eggs, you will cook them for longer. They will be hard and dry. If you want them soft, they will be runny, right? Maybe have more liquid in them. Okay, so the next word we're going to talk about is sunny side up. Sunny side up. And this is another way to fry an egg. So you will crack open the egg, but you won't beat it. Right? You just crack it open into the pan. And sunny side up means you only cook one side, right? And the yolk is not broken, right? So it kind of looks like the sun, right? The sun is on top of the egg, right? So it's sunny side up. Now, if you want to cook both sides of the egg, you can say over easy. Over easy. So this is when you flip the sunny side up egg over and you cook both sides. Now, if you want, you can break the yolk and cook the yolk as well. Right? Or you can leave the yolk unbroken. Unbroken. And of course, you can use hard, medium, and soft for this as well to describe how long you want the egg cooked. So I want to talk about 3 popular dishes in America that use eggs. The first one is Eggs Benedict. Eggs Benedict. And this is when you take a poached egg. So if you crack open an egg in boiling water and cook it, this is called a poached egg. And an eggs Benedict is when you put poached eggs on a sandwich and you eat it. Next is omelet. Omelet. Omelet is when you take scrambled eggs and you put special toppings on the eggs. And then you fold it over. Mostly people put cheese or vegetables or spinach or something in the omelet. And the last one is frittata. Frittata. And frittata is kind of like an open omelet. Usually it's cooked in a pan, but if you want, you can cook it in the oven. You don't have to cook it on top of the stove. So you can cook it in the oven. And of course, there's lots of toppings like an omelet. All right, in our last part of this video, we are going to expand the egg vocabulary all the way out to idioms. Of course, idioms are advanced expressions that are culturally specific. And I'm American, so we're going to be talking about North American idioms for eggs. The first one is to egg someone on. To egg someone on. And this means that you are encouraging somebody. Maybe you want them to do something silly or you want them to do something bad, right? So here is an example sentence for you. Stop egging your brother on. Stop egging your brother on. So maybe your mother or your father is telling you to stop encouraging your brother to do something bad. The next one is to be a good egg or a bad egg. And this just means a good, trustworthy person or a bad, untrustworthy person. Right? So here's an example sentence. There's nothing we can do. He's just a bad egg. There's nothing we can do. He's just a bad egg. So he's just a bad person. There's nothing we can do. The next one we're talking about is to have egg on your face. To have egg on your face. And this means that you feel embarrassed or you've done something foolish. You feel bad about it and ashamed. Right? It's usually used in a joking manner to tell people that you feel embarrassed. Right? So here's an example for you. I shouldn't have asked such a personal question. Now I have egg on my face. I shouldn't have asked such a personal question. Now I have egg on my face. The next one is to walk on eggshells. Walk on eggshells. And this is used to describe a situation where a person feels very cautious or they feel very anxious. Maybe a person is causing them to feel very cautious. So here's a sentence for you. We usually have to walk on eggshells when he's around. We usually have to walk on eggshells when he's around. So maybe he gets upset very easily, or maybe he breaks down and cries very easily. Either way, you're very cautious. You have to walk on eggshells when you're around him. The next one is a question, but we do use it as an idiom, and it's which came first, the chicken or the egg? Which came first, the chicken or the egg? And this is used to describe a paradox, right? Because did the chicken come first and then it laid the first egg? Or did the egg come first and the chicken came from the egg and then they laid the first egg, right? So it's a paradox, right? And you can use it as a phrase in a sentence like this. This is a chicken and the egg situation. this is a chicken and the egg situation. So it's a paradox. It seems impossible, maybe. The next one is a nest egg. A nest egg. And this just means money that you saved up for the future. And it could be any amount of money. But it's specifically saved for the future. Maybe you are having a family or building a house or something. So here's a sentence for you. We have been working on building a nest egg for the last 2 years. We've been working on building a nest egg for the last 2 years. The next one is kind of funny. It's egghead. Egghead. And it's kind of an insult, so don't call somebody an egghead to their face, but it's used to describe the shape of somebody's head. So maybe it's round, like an oval, maybe it's kind of pointy, like an egg at the top, right? So you could say this, oh, he has an egghead. Oh. Also, it can be used to describe somebody who's bald. So if they don't have any hair, they kind of look like an egg, right? So you could also call that person an egghead. Of course, you can say it to their face, I guess, if you're joking, but it might be an insult to them. So be careful. The next one is rotten egg. Rotten egg. And this is usually just an insult that kids use with each other. You'll hear it with children a lot. And the most common way that you will hear it is when kids suddenly start racing, right? So the phrase I'm talking about is, last one there is a rotten egg. Last one there is a rotten egg. So here, imagine two kids, right? They're walking to the car when one of them suddenly says, last one's there is a rotten egg, right? And they start running to the car. So whoever gets to the car first wins, and the last one is a rotten egg. They're a bad person or something. I don't know. It's just a childhood insult that they can say. And the last one that we're going to talk about in today's video is a tough egg to crack. Tough egg to crack. And this means that somebody has some secrets, maybe they have some gossip about something, and you want to know, but they're not telling you, right? And so you can say, you're a tough egg to crack. You're a tough egg to crack. Or maybe it could be a person who doesn't reveal a lot about themselves. They keep everything very private. You could also say this about them. You're a tough egg to crack. I don't understand you. You're a tough egg to crack. Thank you guys so much for watching another video here on Easy Online English. And thank you for joining me at my desk today. I really enjoyed making this video. It was kind of like a puzzle for me to think of all of the words related to eggs. And we hope that you enjoy this new language hacking series. So if you can think of anything that you would like to learn about, please write it in the comments below. And we would love to create a video just for you. And we will see you next time. Goodbye.